Hey everyone, and welcome back for another weekly energy forecast and oracle reading. Okay, so as you can see, it's nighttime. It's been a day. My son's writing finals, so it's chaos. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's ground ourselves and let's see where are we at this week. What energetic influences are at play, and how can we best navigate the energy of this week to our best advantage. Okay, so let's tune in. Let's get a tarot card for the beginning of this week. We've got the Seven of Wands. Now, if you look at this lady, she's very much at peace in her little bliss bubble over there. And even though these wands are kind of like jabbing at her, they can't get to her because she's like protected by her bubble of peace. Now, as I'm tuning into the energy of this card, I'm feeling a very volatile energy in the air. I'm hearing heightened emotions. So a lot of us, and I'm hearing purging. So the beginning of this week, in fact, they're saying it's not just today. It might have started yesterday already. You might have started feeling it from yesterday already, where they're making me feel a lot of emotion, it feels like emotional regurgitating, okay? So be very mindful of your peace. Try, like this lady's doing, she's kind of shielded herself in peace. I just noticed the solar plexus there. I never noticed that before. Okay, so protect your power, be in your power. That kind of brings you peace. They're saying peace and power is actually the same thing. You know, peace is our power, because, you know, if you're at peace and in a peaceful place, it's very difficult to rock you, okay? Can you imagine starting a fight with the old Dalai Lama guy? I don't think it'll work very well, because he's so at peace. So in the beginning of this week, Monday and Tuesday, we might feel a bit vulnerable, a bit sensitive, emotions might be heightened. Count to 10 before you lash out. Count to 10 before you say something in the heat of the moment. Bring yourself back to peace and ask yourself, what would love do? Okay, makes it easier. So just let your peace be your boundary. Okay, take nothing and no one personally right now. Okay, let's get some guidance from the wisdom of the oracle, how we can navigate this energy in the beginning of this week. We've got co-create. You're not alone on this journey. You work as a team. You work in partnership with the divine, with God, source, universe, creator, angels, guides, ancestors, all the wonderful beings in the spirit world. We work together with God, source, creator, universe as a team. So even if, let's say today, you're feeling a little wobbly, okay? Think about how can you consciously create more peace. I'm also hearing, Spirit, have you noticed that in the energy of the beginning of this week, you might not be reacting in the same old way that you would have before, okay? Like even today, I must admit, I felt a little bit triggered, and I just actually took a deep breath, thought about it, and then responded very differently to how I would normally, right? So that explains why that happened. Okay. So think about how you can consciously create a different response to what's going on around you. How can you add to the peace of the world? Because remember, a lot of us are going to be walking around not understanding what we're feeling or why. And maybe if you're very self-aware and very in tune with who you are, you might be very aware of your triggers, which will then help you to make a different response, right? So try to think about how can you add to the peace of the world? How can you co-create peace? How can you work with God, source, universe, creator? How can you create more peace and harmony in your world? Okay. Now let's pull a card from the angels and ancestors for further elaboration now for the beginning of this week. The sun, enjoy success and happiness. Now with this, I'm getting good news in the beginning of this week, and I'm hearing out of the blue, random. again, things that you might have, this theme is carrying on from last week, where we got the insight of things that we had put on the back burner before, or projects or things that we wanted to work on that kind of fell by the wayside. In the beginning of this week, it's going to continue, where we might restart or pay more attention to things that we had sidelined from before. And then there's some sort of good news connected to this, right? And I'm also hearing things surprisingly going a little easier in the beginning of this week, right? Again, the usual challenges that would have set us off and made us go off on a tangent, it just feels like things are just somehow working out. Now, as I was driving back with my kids in the car, we were also just after my triggering moment that I very much internalized and responded to quietly. Not so much for the traffic though. Anyway, so as I was talking to my kids in the car on the way back, I was like, have you noticed how everything always has a weird way of working out? Like, have you noticed that? And the kids were like, yeah. So we all affirmed, everything is always working out for us. Now this is me going through the robots that don't work at the one particular intersection. And I was like, everything's always working out for me. Everything's always working out for us. So we were saying the affirmations, and yeah, we always have a laugh. Anyway, okay. So let's see, what energetic weather do we have in the middle of the week? What energetic weather is here for us? Wednesday, Thursday. Take a nap. This card also means keep the peace, withdraw from drama, stay away from the energy that might be out there at the moment, okay? But I'm also hearing, humor aside, in the middle of the week we might find ourselves feeling really tired, okay? Because the energy at the moment I mean, it's always intense. I say this every week, so I'm not even going to bother now. It's just always intense, okay? But it's not always intense bad. It's always intense in a sense where we are evolving and growing now at a continual pace, right? And as we grow and evolve energetically and spiritually and emotionally, we can flip that pretty quickly energetically, but the physical body needs time to catch up, okay? And also now going into Scorpio season, this is quite the emotional time, you know. Scorpio rules death and rebirth, rising like a phoenix, you know. And our body needs a bit of time, so be sure to rest, take a nap if you can, go to bed a little bit earlier, and just self-care is the order of the middle of the week. Okay, let's see what guidance is here now from the wisdom of the oracle now for the middle of this week. Breathe. You can't make this up. Breathe. And I'm hearing Spirit say there's no need to rush. There's no need to hurry. Yes, a lot of us might be going through some really, really big changes at the moment. And change is not always easy. It can be very challenging, especially because us humans as a rule, we don't really like change. But as we are shifting and changing gears, let's make time for self-care and to just breathe. Breathe your way through it. Breathing calms the vagus nerve. It takes our body out of fight or flight. All right, let's see what guidance is here now from the angels and ancestors for the middle of the week. What do we have for the middle? I'm torn between two, so that means I need to take both. Okay, bless you, Trixie. Okay. Can I make this up? Take time to reflect, okay? Reflect, and now with this I'm hearing, okay, there's a lot here in the middle of this week. Okay, the time to reflect, they're showing me the past is going to come up again. Excuse the beeping, that's the bread machine doing its thing. It's not the house burning down. Sounds like a fire alarm. Anyway, notice that went off there. Okay, anyway, so in the middle of the week, what I'm getting here is we're going to be looking back at the past a little, as in past memories, past hurts are going to come up yet again for another layer of clearing, okay? So we might feel a little emotional in the middle of the week, a little extra sensitive, but they're saying what is very, I want to say powerful here, okay, is in the middle of the week, as we're looking back at the past, we're going to get to look at things a little differently, okay? We're going to get to look at ourselves, a bit of our own shadow, like, wow, why did I react that way? Why did I do that? You know? And we're going to get to look at things very, very differently through new eyes so that we can understand ourselves a lot better. And it feels like a good thing. It feels like a good feeling where we're going to look back and see, okay, but I also learned this. And I also managed to achieve that. So this is not an opportunity for us to be hard on ourselves. No, I just see aha moments in the middle of the week. So if you're feeling a little sensitive carrying through to the middle of the week, self-care, okay, take a nap, breathe, acknowledge how far you've come, acknowledge that you're a rock star, you know, for everything that you've been through in your life, all the hardships that you've managed to get through, all the struggles, the challenges, but also the victories, okay? So take the time to actually reflect, okay? That's quite profound. And then with that, this is the other card that wanted to come also. Guardian angel, you are not alone. So here's this message carrying through even further into the week. We are not alone. And I'm really being drawn to this feather because I noticed so many of these little fluffy white feathers today, okay? It's a little sign from your past over loved ones and especially your angels that they are near, that they are with you, that they've got you. Now, I'm hearing Spirit say, call on your angels, please. You know, if you're really struggling, if you're really having a tough time, we all have at least one guardian angel. Give them something to do. Don't let them stand there around you all day. Give them something to do. And there's nothing you can't, there's nothing that they cannot help you with, okay? So whether it be something as silly as please help me find the perfect parking place to please help me with my severe depression or please help me with my illness, and they will guide you. They'll either give you a strong gut feeling, a gut intuition, or they will put the right people or the right situations in your path at the perfect time. They will help you. There is to the angels a small request and a big request, same thing. A request is a request. So don't feel like your problems are not important enough. No, a request is a request is a request to your angels. Okay, give them something to do. That's what they're there for. They're there to help you. Okay, so let's see. What energetic weather do we have for Friday and the weekend here? We have got the 10 of Wands. Now, this card speaks about burden, heavy responsibility, burnout, okay? Too much load. Now, what I'm getting with this, funnily enough, Friday, again, it's not a negative. I'm not feeling any negatives about this week. This, to me, feels like a lightening of the load, okay? So come Friday and the weekend, you might feel the urge to declutter, to get rid of things that do not serve you. Whether that's physically, mentally, emotionally, but they are showing me a focus on the home, okay? So you might feel the urge to get rid of all those items that you don't need anymore, that you haven't used, or that are especially the emotionally charged items, whenever you look at them, you get like a reaction, okay? Everything that is not serving, and especially to do with the home, get rid of. But then that kind of makes sense because we are having a new moon. Now, please excuse me, I never know what days they are. I think it's Monday, Saturday or Monday. I can't remember which day it is. But anyway, new moons, any moon, full moon, new moon, you feel the energy 3 days before, the day on, and 3 days after anyway. So, but then that would also make more sense now as to why we're going to be feeling like we're purging this week and we're offloading, and how the best way to purge, pay attention to where you're triggered, okay? Trigger comes up, that's interesting. Let me observe the trigger. Let me not react. Let me just go, okay, trigger, where are you coming from? Oh yeah, I remember you. You came from when I was 5 years old and whatever. I remember you. But now I'm a grown-up, now I'm an adult, now I can handle this a little differently, I can respond a little differently. And as we respond every time to the same trigger with a different healthier, better, more calming response, we develop a new habit, and then that wound can no longer control us the way it used to. Okay? Interesting. Purging, letting go, because there's a new moon coming. Now, if I remember correctly, it's a new moon in Scorpio, and as we know, Scorpio energy is about death and rebirth. Okay, so and with a new moons are new beginnings. So this is a huge letting go and releasing to make space for the new moon, the new beginnings that a new moon brings. Okay, stunning. Okay, so that's Friday and the weekend. All right, so now closing out chapters, closing out cycles, I'm hearing. Okay, let's see what guidance is here for us from the wisdom of the oracle for Friday and the weekend. We've got chop wood, carry water. Okay, doesn't matter if you're happy or sad or enlightened or not enlightened, chop wood, carry water. Okay, keeps you grounded, keeps you in the present moment. And it actually helps us have like an element of control. Okay, because when I feel very ungrounded and annoyed and I'll go and clean house, you know. I'm addicted to this YouTube channel, Do Yourself a Favor. Go and look up Scandish Home. I've been watching this woman every single day. Okay, anyway, a side note, but there's a point to my story. She's the most beautiful, creative homemaker I've ever come across. Anyway, and I find watching her channel is so soothing. And what I've always done is when I feel frustrated, I clean my house. I clean my kitchen, I get stuck in. And that gets me focused and grounded. Because if I have a clean, tidy environment, I have a clean, tidy mind. Okay, it really helps me. Anyway, so that's the chop wood and carry water is all about. Is get grounded, do your thing, do what's necessary, and it'll get you through. Okay? Where was I? Oh yes, angels and ancestors. Let's pull a card from here for further elaboration for Friday and the weekend. Protection guardian, drop your shields. It's okay to be vulnerable, I'm hearing. And it is safe. It is safe for you to move forward with this rebirthing that the new moon is bringing. It is safe for you to go in that new direction, to start that new job, which I've got a sneaky suspicion that this is about in the beginning of this week. There's definitely good news coming in the beginning of this week, okay? Then at the end of the week, it's okay. Drop your shields. There is nothing to fear anymore. You are safe. You are protected. Go for it. Whatever it is that your heart is yearning for, wherever it is that the universe is giving you opportunity, wherever the universe is saying yes to you, say yes. Go for it. There's nothing to fear. There's no time like the present, okay? Because I also feel after this new moon, from next week onwards, I don't feel like we're going to be the same again after that, okay? It's a fresh, clean, new slate. It's that phoenix rising from the ashes. And as I've been banging on about now for, I think, since the beginning of last year, we've been in this huge cocoon process, okay? We've been healing so much and dealing with so much and shedding so many layers, okay? And it just feels like this is the next level now of our evolution. It's the next level of our stepping up, like rising like the proverbial phoenix now. Very interesting week this week. I mean, it's interesting every week, but this week just seems to hold like a special kind of magic, I want to say. Because this week is bringing good news. It's bringing good news to do with, it feels like a lot of us, our vocation, our purpose. So careers, jobs, businesses, leveling up. The home, beautiful new developments around the home, okay? So some of us might be moving or buying a new house or getting that fantastic job offer in a different province or a different country. There's all sorts of beautiful new that's coming in. And that's why we've been doing the work. That's why we've been triggered so much, and this has gone wrong, and that's gone to hell in a handbasket, and all the rest. It's to wake us up to what we actually deserve and to wake us up to our full potential. Because how do we know our own potential if we're not challenged? Okay, right? Okay, let's see, what do we need to surrender? What do we need to surrender to have the best week possible? Surrender to silence. In quiet meditation or contemplation, let go and enter the stillness within. Silence can heal and replenish you. Notice that looks like a castle in the middle of the ocean. It's so secluded. Solitude. It's kind of like with this. It's the same energy. Okay, be very kind to yourself this week. We need another one. What else can we surrender this week in order to have the best week? Surrender to trust. Okay, trust yourself and your decisions. Now that makes sense now. Remember I said something just now in the beginning of the week about a lot of stuff from the past coming up and realizing, wow, you know, why did I respond like that? I should have responded like this. But I also succeeded here and I did well there, and I'm going back to things that I shelved before and I'm starting these new things again. Trust yourself. Again, you've got a 100% survival rate of every challenge you've ever had in your life. You've survived every single one of them, okay? So that is a guarantee that you're going to survive 100% of all the ones to come, because you're a lot stronger now than what you were a month ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, okay? So surrender to trust. Trust yourself and your decisions. The decisions you're making, the big decisions you're making right now, go with it, okay? Don't be swayed by other people's strong opinions about what to do. Take action and be confident that you've chosen the right path. Trust, okay? You've got this. And you're not doing this by yourself, okay? You're doing this with Spirit, with God, with Source, with Creator. Now what? Okay, the Gateway of Light activation. Let's get some inspiration out of here. Let's see what our soul's up to this week. What guidance is here for us this week. Let's have a look. What do we need to know this week? Let's pull 2 cards, please. This one. I keep, you know how it is. Every single week, it's like the very same cards come out every week. So I'm making sure I'm shuffling this 100%. Okay, let's see. This one grabs me. Okay, so the first one, same card. Arcturian light codes, evolutionary downloads, recalling power, future thinking. Now, whenever we get the same card often, it means the energy is still there. The influence is still very much there. Okay, so let's read out this card's message. We should all know it by now. But anyway, let's see. We are very grateful for wisdom and guidance because everything's always working out for us. Okay, Arcturian light codes. Okay, it says you can evolve into a greater state of being now. We're just talking about that. This begins with how you approach even the most mundane of tasks in your own little universe. Show up in ways that you've never shown up before. Instead of checking out of this planet, it's time to check in. Instead of feeling that life is happening to you, realize that you have a huge part to play. Recall your power. Realize that you are part of the evolution of humanity, and it's time to become the leader you were born to be. It doesn't matter if you're leading yourself or a larger group. The key is to create more loving ways of doing things. Now there, that makes sense. Remember in the beginning of this week where we kind of putting our shields up, we're kind of protecting our vulnerability, but we're also creating more ways of being more peaceful? That's exactly what this card is talking about, is being peaceful in a powerful way, being powerful in a peaceful way. They work together. Interesting that we've got this card for the 2,027,617 time, okay? But this time there's a different message, okay? It's like coming out differently. It's landing differently. Now, where was I? Let me read that again. It says, it doesn't matter if you're leading yourself or a larger group. The key is to create more loving ways of doing things. Honor the ideas or thoughts that you've been having recently. If you've been hearing high-pitched noises, seeing flickers of light, or sensing that you're being visited by beings in your sleep, know that you're receiving downloads from heaven. Okay. Now this also tells me our psychic muscles are going to be amped up a notch or two this week. So hence the sensitivity, because the more sensitive you are, the more intuitive you are. They go together. Okay. All right. Now the other one we drew, please notice I drew this card first. Remember that. And then I shuffled and then this card came out. So anyway, moving on swiftly. Okay. So this card, it says Pleiadian activation, coming together, harmony in the heavens, resolution. So this tells me peace. Okay. Didn't we have this card the other day also? Anyway, Pleiadian activation. This card says, Pleiadian energy is about coming together in peace and in harmony. You are blessed to receive this gateway, for it is a powerful message of assurance that whatever uncomfortable energy you are experiencing right now will soon be washed away. The Pleiadians are beings who live in complete honor of their planets and their people. They acknowledge that in seeing and connecting with one another, they have an opportunity to see and experience the divine. They also know the consequences of disrespecting others. It's for this reason that is no longer possible for them. If you are being challenged by loved ones now, aim to shift the dynamics of this relationship through a loving approach. The lesson you are facing at this time is an opportunity to heal old wounds and to operate from a higher state of being. Now, excuse me, did that not just sum up this entire week? Because we had boundaries, having healthy emotional boundaries, being centered in peace, okay? Creating peace, right? Taking a nap, taking a time out, catching your breath, lightening the load, right? What else is here? Taking time to reflect, dropping your shields. So this week feels, I want to say simple, but with the simple goal of how can I respond to all my challenges differently? How can I recognize that I am not separate from anybody? All of humanity is one big collective consciousness. So how can I treat myself as well as what I treat others? And how can I treat others just as well as what I treat my own self? Okay. This week feels unifying. And with that, I'm hearing Spirit say it is vital that we all unify and really help each other out right now as much as you can, because as we know, there is so much conflict in the world. And it feels like there's a hell of a lot more of it to come. You know, with certain elections that are coming up, and there's a lot of sensitivity and emotion around that. And it just feels pretty volatile, okay? So we all just need to send and hold as much love and light as peace and peace as what we can, okay? And also with this week, I'm feeling like a lot of things are clicking into place. Those old projects we shelved, they're coming back for another hurrah. That job we tried to get, that house, that baby, that whatever we're wanting for so long that we kind of gave up on, it feels like it's clicking into place this week onwards. Okay, so onwards and upwards we go. Be still, catch a breath, take a nap, and above all, trust. Have absolute faith that everything is always working out for you. There you have it, guys. Thank you so much once again for being here. Thank you so much for your comments and your likes and your shares and all the rest that goes with it. Sending you all so much love. Have a beautiful week. Take care. Bye.